Here in this video we will be discussing about the T lymphocytes and its type. So T lymphocytes arises from T lymphocytes they are arises they are arise from stem cells. T lymphocytes are for the protection. It's work in the defense system of our cell, of our body. So T lymphocytes arise from the stem cells. They are matured in the thymus gland. Thymus only. That is the part of the uh, lymphatic system. They are mature. They are mature in the thymus. Plus, they are where they are produced. They are made in bone marrow. You can write production. Okay, so when the MHC2, we have discussed MHC1, MHC2, they are the special types of protein. So when the for example, this is the cell, and it contains the pathogen. This is the cell that contain what? That contain the pathogen. Okay, so it have the pathogen, and then here the interleukin. This is what? This is the MHC2. Okay. So when the pathogen is attached and the MHC2 is released, when the pathogen cell, this is the I am writing pathogen cell. So this is the cell. Okay, this is the cell that contain the pathogen. So it will also contain, when the MHC2 have the pathogenic cell, so it will release what? It will release the interleukin 1. It will release interleukin 1. So then after then, if the interleukin 1 is released, when the interleukin 1 is released, so the T lymphocytes are active. I am writing T lymphocyte. They are active. When the interleukin 1 is released by what? It is released by the MHC2. So then the T lymphocytes will activate. After the activation of the T lymphocyte will what? It will release, the T lymphocyte will release the interleukin 2. Okay. So here, this is how the T lymphocytes are working in our body. So now here we gonna talk about the types of the T lymphocyte, we'll be talking about the types. So T lymphocytes have a division, and they have the division according to we'll discuss. So they are divided into two. First of all, on the basis of what? On the basis of receptors. Like some of the types of the lymphocyte, T lymphocyte have the receptor, and that receptor can be CD8 or CD4. Okay. Another is that they are classified on the basis of their function. About how it is divided into basis of the function. So they are divided on the basis of their function. For example, like other than after functioning, they are divided into four. There are four types of the T lymphocyte. Number one is T helper cell. Okay. Number two is T cytotoxic cells. Then number third one is T memory cells. And last but not the least is T suppressor cells. Okay, they are divided into four according to their what? According to their functioning, they are divided into four. I don't know what is happening. I'm sorry for that. So now we are having the cytotoxic cell that have the receptor CD8, and that receptor is attached on the MHC1. CD8 receptor is on MHC1. Now talking about the T memory cell have the receptor of the CD4, and that CD4 is on what? Now here we will be talking about the receptor. I'll tell you that in the end. T suppressor cell. So T suppressor cell have the receptor of CD8, and that CD8 is attached with what? That is attached with the MHC2, as I have discussed in the cytotoxic cells as well. So now here the question arises that what receptor memory cells have. So T memory cell either have it can be also have the CD4 receptor and CD8 receptor. It depends. Both depend what is the requirement. Okay. So now here we will be talking about how the CD4 receptors work. As I told you that CD4 receptor works with the T cells. Let's see how the CD4 receptor works. So when the let me write. sorry, when the T cell will release T helper cells, I am writing T helper cell will release the interleukin 2. It will release the interleukin 2. T helper cell, what it will do, it will release the interleukin 2. Okay, and then just because of this, like in the result of this, the cell will be differentiating, means different type of cells will be activating. For example, here is like the B lymphocyte. So B lymphocyte will activate, and what, like the purpose of the T helper cell is to, for example, the pathogen is here. So the purpose of the T lymphocyte. So let me make it clear for you that if the T cells are releasing interleukin 2, so what will be the result, that different types of the T cell will be activated, and they will make the team with the pathogen. Also T cells plus with the B cells, B lymphocytes. Okay, so both will be activated and they will make the team. They will make the team against what? They will make the team against the pathogen, that let's fight together. And B lymphocyte, when the B lymphocyte will be, so they will make the team. And when the B lymphocyte, as we know that when the B lymphocyte will activate, so they will be divided into plasma cells. And what plasma cell will do? Plasma cell will always make the antibodies. The more plasma cell, the more antibodies production. So this is how the T helper cell work. When the antigen is in the body, so T will do, T helper cell will be having the CD4 receptor, so they will release the interleukin 2. And then just because of that, all the cell will be activated. It can be either T lymphocyte or B lymphocyte. Okay, so when the B lymphocyte will activate, as we know that they are combined into the plasma cell and the memory cell. So their plasma cell will make what? This plasma cell will make the antibodies. Okay, so now we gonna discuss about the, like, this is for what about, this is like was about the CD8 receptor. Okay, this was all about the CD8 receptor. Okay, sorry, this was all about the CD4 receptors. As we have discussed, in the T helper cells are attached with the CD4 receptor. Okay, so now we are talking about the CD8 receptor that is attached with the cytotoxic cells. Okay, now we are talking about what? We are talking about the CD8 receptor that is attached with the cytotoxic cell. So when the cytotoxic cell will work, so because of the MHC1, as we know that cytotoxic cell contain what? MHC1. We have discussed that earlier in this video. MHC1. So if the MHC1 is having the pathogen, okay, so the like for example, if the MHC1 have the pathogen, let me make the diagram over here. This is the cell. This is the cell, and this is the MHC1. MHC1 is attached with it. Okay, so if the as we know that MHC1 have what? MHC1 have the receptor of CD8. We know that MHC1 have the binding site that have the receptor of 8 receptor. So this the MHC1 have the receptor of A. So the cytotoxic cell will only attach with the CD8 receptor. Cytotoxic cell will always attach with the CD8 receptor, as this T helper cell attached with the CD4 receptor. So cytotoxic cell will always attach with the CD8 receptor. So now here is the pathogen. Here is the pathogen. So what cytotoxic cell will do? Cytotoxic cell will blast this cell. It will release the toxic substance. Toxic substance, as the name seems like cytotoxic, so it will release the toxic substance and then kill what? It will kill the substance. Oh sorry, it will kill the cell, and then the T suppressor cells will be working. What the purpose of the T suppressor cells? They will be controlling, they will be stopping the activity, stop activity. They will be stopping the activity of this toxicity. They will be stopped, because when the cell is dead, now the cell is dead, still this cytotoxic cell is releasing its toxic substance, so it will be harmful, yes, because the toxic substance, there is no work of now toxic substance, the cell is being die, so now we do not need the toxic substance. So to suppress that, to stop that toxic substance, the T suppressor cells are present to stop the activity of killing. Okay, so this was all about the CD4 receptor and CD8 receptor. Now we will be having a functioning, we will be having a look at the functioning. We'll be having the look at the functioning. Functioning of the cells, of these cells. So now we'll be having a look at the functioning of these. Okay, so if we talk about the T helper cells, here I'm talking about the T helper cells. First we'll be discussing about the T helper cells. Okay, so what's the purpose of the T helper cell? T helper cell differentiate I'm not writing full example. Differentiate of the T lymphocytes and B lymphocyte. Like they differentiate between the T lymphocyte and B cells, T lymphocytes or B lymphocyte, by releasing interleukin 2. It will be releasing, as I told you, that the helper cell will be releasing the interleukin 2. Interleukin is a chemical they will be releasing. Their function is to release the interleukin 2, and they will be differentiating between the T helper cells and the T cells and B cells, T lymphocytes and the B lymphocytes. So our next type is T cytotoxic cell. So by the name you can recognize that what's the purpose of the cytotoxic cell. So cytotoxic cell kill the pathogen. So when the pathogen, like it will kill the pathogen. When the pathogen is in the cell, it is in the infected cell, so it will release the toxic substance, and through that the toxic substance will kill the pathogen. Now here we are talking about the third type, that is T memory cell. Okay, T memory cell will keep the record. For example, keep the record of the like pathogen and the cells, so that if sometimes like if the infection is occurring, so how we have treated that, who have killed that, so it will take all the memory and all the record of the pathogen. Okay, So now we are having our last but not the least T suppressor cell. What it will do, it will stop, as I had told you, that it will stop the activity. Stop the activity, as I have given you the example earlier as well, that if the T helper cells are releasing if the T toxic cells are releasing more poisonous substance after when the cell is dead, but they are releasing extra poisonous substance, so T suppressor cell will suppress it. It will stop the activity. Okay, so these were the functioning of the T lymphocytes and the type of the T lymphocytes.